like sugar and spice. I like till nice, like sugar and spice. So good, so good. I like you, so good, so good. You, so good, so good. I love you.
City, state, country, everybody, good evening. It's good to see you. And thank you for your patience tonight. Um, as always, it's good to be here. And I hope all of you are well. Do me a favor, start liking the video, sharing the video. We got a lot of ground to cover. And kind of came into tonight with this thought that maybe this might be a two-part thing because it's so much. Almost canceled tonight. I think my air conditioner has gone out. My air has gone out. I'm not sure. Really weird. Happened about an hour ago. And so fortunately here in Carolina, it's not too bad. But we'll see what happens tonight. And we'll press forward anyway. But I am can you all hear me? Let me just make sure everybody can hear me okay. You all can't hear me? You guys can hear me, right? Can you hear me? Good evening. Yes, I can hear. All right. Um, and so let's get into it. I said to the subscribers, and I want to shout out all my subscribers that are tuned in tonight. Thank you so much for your support. Really, 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 truly appreciate it. And I said to them Monday that this would probably be the best live I've ever done. And that's almost kind of unbelievable considering. Yeah, I'm gonna put my hat on. I am. I'm just trying to give myself a second to breathe. I've been in the swimming pool with my hat. I've been a lot of places with my hat. Where's my soundboard when I need it? Uh, I've been a lot of places with my hat, so I'm definitely gonna put it on. But yeah, I think this. I told my subscribers Monday that this might be the best live that I've ever taught because the live that I'm going to share, the formula that healed me and changed my life, is the very thing that I worked on that through my personal journey that then catapulted and created the 5 areas of healing. And so, yeah, tonight will be special. And again, I don't know if I'll get through all of it tonight, but I want to at least get it started. And if it gets a little too crazy in here heat wise, we'll cut this short. Thank you for those of you that have already supported. I promised the subscribers Monday that this might very well be a live that we take down, especially if you don't support, because this live will be converted into a book or an ebook. And I've been putting it off because I'm in the middle of the tour and everything else right now, so it's a lot going on. But this is that important. You're going to see that this live is that important. And yeah, that's all I can say. Thank you all for the birthday wishes for my mom. I see them flying up the screen, and some of you have sent me messages today. I have not had a chance to really open and read much of anything today. It's been a mess of a day. Not in a bad way, just really busy. And so I really appreciate it. My mom's 68 years old and just looking like fine wine. Just so very happy for her and thankful for her. and everything that she and my father do for me and my children and our family. She is just really special. And so I appreciate all of the love you guys showed her today. I looked up earlier, I think after I posted, she was trying to say thank you to everyone. And I think she finally tired out. But I'm really thankful for your support of her. I've got some other announcements. I'm going to get right into this though. I am. You're going to need something to write with. Let me say this really quickly. This is Eagle Nation. And in the event that you see ignorant comments fly up the screen, you might see some eagles fly on the screen. Do not be annoyed if you see an ignorant comment come up the screen. Drop an eagle in the chat, and it tips off our moderators who do a really good job of shooting eagles or birds rather out of the air. And so let's keep the comment area as professional and as open as possible. This is certainly a free space where people are challenged to grow and learn. Let me say this too. Let me shout out all of my moderators. Thank you so much for all of your support and all of the work that you do. My moderators are simply fantastic, and they do a really good job of keeping the chat area clean. I'm looking for white paper. You're gonna need some white paper tonight. You're gonna need your journal. So go ahead and get this together, and let's get ready to get prepared. Let me also say that the formula that I'm going to share with you um, is some of this has some spiritual stuff to it, which means it's levels. So for those of you that are used to sitting in the back of the plane, not just on real planes, but your life is in coach, you're going to struggle tonight. You're going to struggle. Some of y'all like the cold peanuts and the Biscoff cookies. Your life looks like cold peanuts and Biscoff cookies. You're going to struggle tonight. So this ain't going to be for you. But there is an element of this tonight where we're going to deal with a spiritual aspect to really make this formula make sense. All right, so get something to write with, get some blank paper to write with as well, or you can do it in your journal. But you're going to need to turn it landscape because the diagram that we have tonight is going long ways. Where is my stuff? I don't have anything. I feel so unprepared with this heat thing. It just threw me off. We're going to make this red one work until we can't. Son! Not y'all already y'all already dropping eagles? 4. Giselle. Giselle. Can you, when you get a chance, come in and grab my blue? When you get a chance, can you come and grab my blue Sharpie off the table? Just whenever you can. Yes. And the pen if you can. Thank you. Y'all are already dropping eagles. Who's acting up? Somebody's already acting up. Y'all, it's too early. And I ain't even got to the part that's gonna make some of y'all mad. It's really weird. Y'all shouldn't, it's too early for y'all to be mad at people. Thank you. Appreciate it. I had a client on this week, a guy who had been watching me for 2 years, who came to me with his wife and said, "Yeah, doc, I've been watching you for a while. My wife was watching you first, and the thing that I appreciate about you the most is that you don't play around with anybody. You don't take nobody's side." And I don't. I'm not like some of y'all favorite podcasters that only talk about women or only talk about men. If your mama wrong, I'll tell her she wrong to her face. Right to her face. And this is what brings people healing. Many of you, your life is filled with a bunch of cold peanuts and Biscoff cookies because you're not used to people telling you the truth. And that's why your life is as raggedy as it is. And we were on the live Monday with subscribers. And one of the subscribers jumped on and was like, "Doc, yeah, I went to this therapist, and he said, yeah, if you wanted it nice, go to Dr. Zeb. If you wanted it honest, come to me." And people on the live were just looking like, does this guy even watch you? Maybe he's clueless, like a lot of these other idiots out here that are not used to being raised with people who tell them the truth. And I get it. It's a sign of the times. But yes, the truth is either gonna make set you free or make you mad. And so this is gonna be good. And I'm excited about tonight. All right. So y'all, let's ride in first class. Um, woman, man, woman, whatever you are. But I'm coming for everybody tonight. And but what I'm gonna give you is absolutely a life-changing formula that changed my life, that birthed the 5 years of healing. All right. I have many more announcements. We'll get to that in a second. Record this. Put in the chat tonight's comment. Shout out to everybody from wherever you are. Naomi's laughing. Your response had me. Yeah, Monday was hilarious. Like, I don't know what these people literally, social media has really revealed how weird our society is. There's some weirdos out here. For real. Doc, you shouldn't call people names. Weirdo. Gotta start calling things what they are. And it's just really weird out here. I want you to put in the chat tonight's topic, the formula that will change your life. Don't pay attention to what I have in the topic, all right? Because I put it in there to just tell y'all what I'm talking about. I want you to put it in the chat, the formula that will change your life. Do it, all right? Put that in the chat, the formula that will change your life. That's what I'm talking about tonight. All right, so don't worry about what I got up there. The formula that will change your life. Thank you, LaShawn, on TikTok. Appreciate you. The formula that will change your life. By the way, put up the ways to support. I'm going to encourage you all to support the show tonight. This is definitely one because this will turn into a book or ebook. I haven't decided which one, but I want you to support the show tonight. If not, we will absolutely take it down. Y'all stop getting all of this free work. And yeah, I want to say to you, if all goes well, I should be opening up my books for new clients by the beginning of May, maybe mid-May. I've got some clients that are doing really, really well that are rolling off, and that's a good thing. I talked to a client today. She's one of my longer standing clients. She's been working with me since the end of last summer. Spread apart, not obviously every week, but she's one of my longest standing clients. And I was telling her that I'm probably going to open up my books by the 1st of May, mid-May. And of course, we'll announce that on all of the social media networks, things like that. But let me just say this to you. Tonight, you're going to kind of get a taste for what counseling and coaching is like with me. And I'm just going to tell you, some of you need to think twice before signing up for sessions. I'm a little unorthodox in my approach, but it works. And I'm just discovering that in this space, people really don't like the truth. They can't stand the truth. And it's really the truth that's going to help you out. I'm completely shadow banned on TikTok. So that's why you guys aren't seeing my notifications. My videos on TikTok are averaging about 1,200 views. I've got 331,000 plus followers. You figure it out. So I don't know what's going on. Nevertheless, I want to deal with this, and I want to start here. This is the first note. I want you to put it in the chat. I want you to support the show. Life is either going to happen to you or it's going to happen through you. Okay, this is the very first thing I want you to record. You're going to be the smartest person at the water cooler all week long, or all weekend long, starting tomorrow. Life either happens to you or it happens through you. And so when it comes to trying to figure out how to heal our lives, change our lives, fix things in our lives, your stance on life happening to you or life happening through you is going to determine how you come out on this. Thank you, Naomi. I appreciate you. Wow, y'all supporting already. Thank you. Appreciate your support. Life is either going to happen to you or it's going to happen through you. And depending on what you decide is going to determine how you're going to be able to heal and become the best version of yourself. The reason why I'm starting with this is because in today's culture, we are living in victim times. Oh my God. If some of you couldn't be a victim, you wouldn't be able to be anything at all. We're living in victim times where people are literally walking around looking for reasons to be victimized, to feel victimized. And social media is not making this better. Everybody offended, everybody's a victim, everybody's mad, everybody's salty. You can literally go viral doing reaction videos off of what somebody else had to say instead of being creative enough to create your own content. It's crazy out here. A bunch of victims. And the reason why many of you have not healed, and the reason why many of you have been in therapy for 20 years is because you've been talking to therapists and counselors who have not only not provided you tools, but have allowed you to play victim. So let me just go ahead and get this out in the air before I open my books in a couple of weeks. If you want to be a victim, do not book your time with me. Don't. You're going to be mad within 10 minutes. There's a whole lot of counselors and therapists and coaches you can talk to where you can cry and whine and be the victim for the next 5-10 years, and they'll gladly take your money and your copay. It don't work like that over here. Well, Doc, you're not going to listen to me and hear what I have to say? Sure I am. How can I help you if I don't hear what you have to say? I'm going to listen to you and hear what you have to say, but what you ain't going to do is spend the next 6 months victimizing yourself and allowing life to happen to you. And this is why many of you haven't changed. And this is why many of you are easily offended. And this is why many of you emotionally are as soft as baby wipes. Because nobody has challenged you to understand that you don't have to live your life as a victim. Let me tell you something. 1999 to 2019, 2020. When I was going through one of the hardest seasons of my life, let me tell you what I discovered. Most people that see you go through a hard time are actually glad you're going through it. Oh my God. And the ones that aren't glad don't care. They don't care. And this is a sign of the times of this weak generation where we have access to all of this information, but emotionally, you're just as soft as tissue. So we're going to deal with this tonight. And it's going to be fun. We're living in victim times. And more than that, so it is living in victim times that has many of you in counseling and therapy for 8, 10, 15, 5, 6, 7 years, 20 years. And all you do is show up every week talking to your counselor about what's wrong with you and how you're so hurt and how everything is just so bad. Woe is me, yada, yada, yada. So that's one part. And then the other part is we have not learned how to humanize hard times. I want you to put this in the comments, put it in the notes. Humanize hard times. I'm going to explain what I mean when I say humanize hard times. We have become so fragile emotionally that the idea of feeling bad through difficult moments where you have a right to feel bad feels odd. For instance, let me explain it this way. Easiest way to explain it, give you an example. Yeah, I have clients come to me and say, Doc, my divorce, this is a good example. My divorce was just final. It was final last week. I've been crying every day the last 8, 9 days, and I don't know what's wrong with me. And because I've been crying for the last 8, 9, 10 days, I don't know what's wrong with me, and I feel like I'm depressed. and I feel like maybe I should just talk to somebody about getting on medication because this isn't right, and I just can't stop crying. And I say to him or her, well, how long were you married? 15 years. You were married 15 years, your divorce was final a week ago, and you've been crying every day, and you think that's odd? Yeah. Why do you think that's odd? Because I shouldn't be crying every day, should I? Why wouldn't you cry every day when you were married for 15 years? But I get it. We have not learned how to humanize the human experience. And until you learn to humanize the human experience, everything is going to be extra and dramatic for you. I want to say this, and this is going to hurt some of your feelings. But can I help you? Some of y'all don't need medication. You just dramatic. Oh my God. I'm going to just let that sink and I'm going to say it again until y'all hear me. Some of you don't need medication. You ain't depressed and it ain't anxiety. You dramatic. Oh, I know you counselors and therapists are mad now. Let me take my glasses off so you can look me in my eyes. Some of y'all don't need no medication. You just dramatic. You know why? Because you have not learned how to humanize the human experience. That guess what, y'all? If we are supposed to laugh with people that laugh, we got to learn how to cry with people that cry. If we are supposed to laugh with people who are doing well, we got to learn how to mourn with people who are having a hard time. And the reality is, you have not been taught that. And so every time you go through a period where you're having bad days, because we're so dramatic as a culture, you automatically think stuff like, oh, I need some medication. I'm depressed. Doc, this has to be depression. No, it's your drama. Oh my God. If somebody lies on you and it is somebody you've been in a 30-year friendship with, look what they said on TikTok. Somebody, I won't say their name, said on TikTok, I'm a nurse and they giving out antidepressants like candy. I ain't making this stuff up. You know why? Because this is a dramatic culture. And we have not taught people how to humanize the human experience. If you have been in a 20-year friendship and you found out that that best friend of yours for 20 years lied on you really bad about something, you have a right to be pissed. If you trusted in your parents or loved ones to be there for you and they let you down and you always showed up for them, you have a right to be upset. And that don't mean you crazy. It does not mean you're dramatic. You're doing too much. It means you're human. And let me tell you something that helped me get through one of the worst seasons of my life. When I learned how to humanize hard times, it helped me to recenter myself mentally and emotionally and realize that it's actually pretty human to go through a hard time and feel like crap. We're going to talk about solutions, but I'm going to get on y'all about these antidepressants first. Don't rush me. It is actually human to feel like crap when you're going through a hard season. And some of y'all better hear this before this really speeds up, because it's about to speed up. Stop being so doggone dramatic. If somebody dies that is close to you and it has been months that you've been crying, it's probably okay. It's probably okay. And this is why I believe a lot of you are overly medicated. Now, I said this before, I'll say it again publicly. This is not to suggest that some people don't need medication. Some people do need medication. There may be times where your depression or your anxiety impacts your ability to function. Then maybe you should be considered for that. But I'm telling you, many of you are overly medicated. Many of you just have a hard day and you just want the doctor to give you something to make you feel better. And unfortunately, a lot of these crazy knucklehead doctors and nurses are doing this. The reality is, you got to learn how to humanize hard times. And when you go to counseling, while I'm on it, when you go to coaching, when you go to therapy, you should be provided tools to get you out of it. Let me just say this. Y'all ain't going to agree with this. Nobody belongs in therapy for 20 years. If you're tuned in tonight and you have been in therapy every week for the last 10 years, something's wrong.
Oh my God.
Well, Doc, how can you say that you don't know my experience? Because I know therapy, counseling, coaching should provide some tools at some point. And if not, all you got is a pen pal. All you got is a nutty buddy that's just talking to you all day, every day. Many of you have been in therapy for every week for the last 5, 10 years. Something's wrong. Will you do the math? There are 52 weeks in a year. 52 times 5 is what? What's that, like 260? Is my math right? Is that right? My son comes by and says, yes, it is. Is that right? 260? 52 times 5, if I'm not mistaken, is 260. That means you have been in 260 sessions and you still got the same problems.
Oh my God.
How you been in 260 counseling sessions, you got the same problems? No, I'm being honest. I'm asking for myself. How have you been in therapy, 260 therapy sessions in 5 years, and you got the same problems? Now, somebody said it on Facebook, and they're right. I won't call their name out because I don't want y'all to attack her. Attack me. I can take it. But she said it right. She said, if I'm keeping it a buck, some of these therapists, let me add to that, counselors, coaching, because, this work that I do, this is the popular thing now. So now everybody coaching. Most of these people are in this for money. And you can tell when you get in front of them because they have no real tools. There are levels to this. If you have been with me longer than a year and you have no tools to be better and you have seen no progress, I have failed you.
Oh my God.
I have absolutely failed you if you have seen me for the last year. And you don't have no tools and you're in the same spot. It only take my clients 2 sessions. Most of my clients after 1 session, yeah, it might be a cry session, but after 1 session, they're like, oh my God, this is going to be different. I know. Shouldn't take all day. And some of y'all been in therapy for 10, 15, 5, 20 years. You're dealing with the same stuff. Something not right. So I'm going to give you something that helped me. And yeah, y'all going to pay for this. Because many of you, as I told a client this week, who can't get her husband to come and get some help, many of you refuse to participate in your own rescue. And I'm going to give you something tonight that is so powerful that it can literally fix anything in your life. Somebody said, it took me 1 live and you got me together. Listen, this live pales in comparison to when me and you face to face on this camera. You think this something? Ask my clients. This ain't nothing. But it don't take a lot. Get your paper together. Let's do some work. No, people don't want to do the work, and they claim they're doing the work. You ain't doing no work. If you telling me you're going to see a counselor every week and that's all you do, you're not doing no work. You have a pen pal. You have a phone buddy. You have somebody you get to talk to every week. You're not doing no work. Going to counseling ain't doing no work. Yeah, it's compassion. Thank you, Naomi, for clarifying that. I appreciate it. Doc is far from mean, but you ask my kids, Doc's very direct. Doc's gonna say what it is. I don't dance around the bush. I don't beat around the bush. Okay? Get your blank paper. You ready? Yeah, y'all can save that money. If you need somebody to vent to, talk to one of your friends. Buy a dog. Get a chia pet. Oh my God. Get your paper, turn it landscape. Let me give you some things. I want you to write this down and I want you to do what I do. Okay? Let me give you the formula. You should write down the word beliefs. Start on the far left, about 3/4 of the way down. You should write down the word belief. In fact, let me do another paper. I want to go further down. Write down the word beliefs. Y'all with me? I want you to draw an arrow. I want you to write down the word thoughts. I want you to draw an arrow. I want you to write down the word emotion or emotions. Beliefs, thoughts, emotions. I want you to draw another arrow, and I want you to write the word behavior. Beliefs, thoughts, emotions, behavior. You ready? This is the formula that changes your life and heals your life. Doc, how do I heal? Well, I talk about it in the 5 areas of healing and give you many different ways you can heal in all different areas. Somebody's already saying on Instagram, Doc, I'm reading this right now in the book. And I'm about to show how what I explained in the book, how it came to be. This formula right here. It hit me like a sack of bricks one day. This is the formula that changed your life. Now, I need you to add something to this. At the top of the page, I want you to write the word. Let's do 2 words. I want you to write the words incident / experience. I want you to write the words incident / experience at the top of the page. Okay? Incident / experience at the top of the page. Okay? Let me explain this to you. When an incident or an experience occurs in your life, your response is either a thought, an emotion, or behavior. Y'all stay with me. You're reaping the benefits of your first real live Dr. Zeb counseling session. When an incident happens in your life, your response is either a thought, an emotion, or behavior. Okay? So incident occurs, experience occurs. Then what happens, the response to that is either a thought, an emotion, or behavior. It does not matter what the experience is. Does not matter what the incident is.
When something occurs in your life, you're either going to respond with a thought, you're going to respond with an emotion, you're going to respond with a behavior, or eventually a combination of all three. Now, healthy people, when incidents occur, most healthy people respond with a thought. Why? Think about the 5 areas of healing. Write down the 5 areas of healing somewhere on your page. You can put it up in the upper right-hand corner. Just put it for reference. What are they? Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial. Most healed people, when something happens, their response is a thought, though they may actually feel where something's happened. Remember, we just talked about humanizing the human experience. So even a healed person can feel something. I'm going to talk about that in a second. I'll get to that in a minute because it's really, I'm going to have to defend some of us. I'm going to have to defend some of us healed people. And I'll do that later on in the talk. But when something happens, healed people tend to respond with a thought. Why? Because they recognize that the greatest way to control your emotions is to start with a thought. And when an incident occurs and you start with a thought, you get to respond and not react. If you had the book, you know where I clearly explain the difference between responding and reacting. A reaction is when an incident occurs and you apply emotions first, then thought. A response is when an incident occurs and you apply a thought and then the emotion, which means you think about how you feel instead of feeling about how you think. Wow. This is making sense? It's going to get a little bit deeper in a second. Now, if an incident occurs, a healed person goes to their thoughts first. They may feel, and I'm going to give several examples tonight. Let's say a healed person loses a loved one, somebody dies. You're healed and somebody in your life dies. You're human. So the death is the incident or the experience. Your human, natural, humanized inclination is to feel that loss. You might cry, you might scream, you might yell, etc. Watch. But after you have felt the initial jar of the human experience, you don't jump to a behavior. The healed go from emotion back to thought. Why? Because they need to create a thought to help them control their emotions. You're going to know you're healing when things happen and you go to thoughts before you go to emotions. Oh my God. Is this making sense or no? Y'all like the video, share the video. Y'all not supporting. Oh no, you're not supporting. I'm checking. You're not supporting. Like, share, support. I know you're doing a lot of writing tonight. Now, why is this important? I'll tell you why this is important. Because when an incident occurs and you go to your thoughts, not only are you not allowing your emotions to take the lead, this is important. You recognize, here we go, that beliefs, I want you to circle that word belief. Beliefs are the foundation of your thoughts. When your thoughts are off, it is because your beliefs are off with them. Let me explain. How many of you have said, yeah, doc, I feel unworthy? Let me walk this down in so many examples tonight. You're going to feel like you're busting open at the seams. Doc, I feel unworthy. I went through the breakup. I went through the divorce. I was abused as a child, whatever. I feel unworthy. Well, okay, let's talk about that then. You went through the divorce. That's the incident. And you say, I feel unworthy. That's the emotion. How do we correct that feeling of unworthiness? Let me tell you what we don't do. You don't correct an emotion with another emotion. Let me help many of you. Emotional Intelligence 101. You don't improve a bad attitude by trying to be nice. Oh my God. Because you can't fix an emotion with an emotion. If you don't believe it, get sad and then try to make yourself laugh. You might laugh for 10 seconds, but when the laughter's done, you're going back to what? Sadness. Because you cannot fix an emotion with an emotion. So if you feel like you don't feel worthy, it's an emotion. What's wrong? There is a thought that's supporting that. Well, what's the thought? I'm making this up, y'all. This is just an example. The thought could be, well, I don't feel unworthy because, my parents never really loved me the way they should have loved me growing up. Or I don't feel worthy because in the divorce or in the marriage, I was never told I was good enough. And I was always made to feel as if I wasn't good enough. And that's why I feel like I'm not good enough, because I was always told that and made to feel that way. Whatever, right? Example. Those are the thoughts. Well, we got a problem. You can change the thoughts, but you know what's easier than changing your thought? Go back again. Ask yourself, what is the belief that's grounding my unworthiness? Watch. The belief that's grounding your unworthiness is that because your parents didn't handle you the right way, you can't be worthy, because at your core, you believe that your worthiness, though you have not articulated it, we've walked it back, your unworthiness is really grounded in the belief that because my parents didn't love me right, nobody else will. So how do we fix it? Don't change the emotion. You can try to change the thought, but if the belief is still there, you're going to have a hard time dealing with it. You know what you need to do? Change the belief. I'll give you an example. We still on unworthiness. You could change your belief to something like, well, yeah, my parents weren't there for me the way I needed to be, but I'm a full-fledged adult with a career. I've been able to establish myself. I did survive a divorce. I've proven myself to be resilient. And I proved to myself that you cannot be loved well young, but be able to recover and persevere and become a great version of yourself. That's a new belief. Watch. When you create that new belief, it creates a new thought. It's not that I'm not worthy. It's just that I was connected to someone who didn't understand the value of my perseverance. That's the new thought. When you create that new thought, guess what? That emotion of feeling unworthy starts to shift to, no, ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm actually not as bad as I thought I was. And maybe I was surrounded by somebody who didn't understand the value of perseverance that a child has to go through when their parents aren't available. Making it up. Again, total example. So it's not that I'm not worthy, I'm very worthy. And I've proven that worthiness through my perseverance. And guess what happens? Then your behavior changes. You don't walk around putting yourself down. You don't walk around letting people put you down. You don't let around letting people talk to you any kind of way. All of a sudden, you set boundaries, behavior. You stand up for yourself, behavior. And guess what, y'all? When you have changed your emotions by regrounding your beliefs, creating new thoughts, resettling your emotions that have then in turn created new behaviors, guess what you ultimately do? I want you to write at the bottom of the paper and circle it the word life. Folks, I changed my life when I recognized that when I changed my beliefs, it would change my thoughts. And when it changed my thoughts, it would regulate my emotions. When it regulated my emotions, it changed my behavior. And when it changed my behavior, it changed my life. Are y'all with me or not? There is nothing you can't put in this formula that cannot be changed with this formula. Nothing. I don't care what your example is. Appreciate your support, Sunkiss. I don't care what the example is. You don't fix an emotion with an emotion. And where many of us struggle and really have a challenge is with the heat of the moment. Something goes bad. And the great example that I gave this week to a client is don't talk about nobody's mama, don't talk about nobody's kids. You talk about somebody's kids, and somebody says something to you about your kids. That's the incident, and immediately you go from emotion to behavior. The problem with that is that you allow the incident and the challenge of the experience to cause you not to go through the proper channel so that your behavior is right. So you go from incident to emotion, and then from emotion to behavior. Next thing you know, you're fighting. And that's how we don't, that's not how we should respond to things. I want you to record this. Put this note in the comments, put it in your journal. You got to record it twice. Embrace the humanity of the moment so you can effectively resolve the moment. Embrace the humanity of the moment so you can effectively resolve the moment. Let me tell you what helped me in 2020. I had to embrace the humanity of what I was going through. My human feelings at that time so that I could effectively resolve it. Because until then, my emotions were going to be all over the place. And that made my behavior all over the place. I had a friend say to me something that changed my life. She said to me, Zeb, I don't even, this is back in 2020. Zeb, I don't even recognize who you are. You know why? Because I allowed some life incidents and experiences. I leached my emotion to those experiences and my behavior followed immediately. I didn't even think to go back and change the thoughts associated with those emotions. And if I didn't like those thoughts, I didn't think to even go back and change the beliefs that created those thoughts, that spurred on those emotions, that created those behaviors. Embrace the humanity of the moment so you can effectively resolve the moment. Because I'm going to tell you this, if you ain't figured this out yet, when your beliefs are off, guess what? All of this is off. Your thoughts are off, your emotions are off, your behavior is off, and guess what? Your life is off. Your whole life will be skewed, subjective, and off when your beliefs are off. I'm going to give you two examples. Have you ever seen something great in someone? Have you ever been connected to someone and you could see the greatness in them? You could see them maybe as a great mom, or you could see them as a great father. You could see them as a great entrepreneur, though they don't own a business, but you could see the potential in them. And you could see all this greatness, and you would tell them about all of this greatness. But everything you were saying to them was literally going in one ear and out the other. Why? Because as much as you said it, their beliefs weren't grounded enough to be able to receive it. And nothing creates more frustration in you than being able to see something in somebody that they cannot see. But what makes it more frustrating is when you continue to beat them over the head with it, but they never get it because their beliefs are off. Tell somebody they're great all you want to, but if they don't believe they're great, none of this stuff right here matters. I'm here to tell you that when your beliefs are off, everything else about your life is off. And some of you should already be seeing how you can apply this to your life, because it don't get no more practical than this. Tell me something that you believe about yourself that ain't serving you. And I can walk you from your belief, changing your belief, changing your thoughts, changing your emotions, changing your behaviors, and ultimately changing your life. When your beliefs are off, your whole life is skewed. Y'all want a real-time example that's going to piss a lot of y'all off? It'll go up if y'all support. If not, it's definitely coming down. I'm going to send it to my subscribers because it's going in the book. Y'all want a real-time example that's going to really piss some of y'all off? Watch me lose half of y'all. You ready? Let me give y'all a real-time example. Let's talk about Marvin Sapp. Oh, my God. Let's talk about Marvin Sapp. And I'm going to do something that the church hasn't done for me. I'm going to defend it. Watch this. Watch this. There's this video that goes out where he's at a convention, not his church. He asked 2,000 people for 20 bucks. Watch this. This going to be so good. I'm about to help all of you. Those of you that go to church, those of you that don't. Let me show you how your beliefs can have your behavior looking crazy. You ready? Watch. So he talks about, hey, I want 2,000 people to get 20 bucks, I think is what he said. That will give $40,000. And he wants everybody on the stage to give 100 because you got to pay to be on the stage. And he wasn't talking about paying him, but if you know anything about licensing and credentials in a church body and organization, you're not about to be no bishop and you're not paying no fees. It don't work that way. So for all of the people, God bless y'all, who saw that and said, oh man, he not only is he wild for asking 2,000 people for $20, but he's also talking about, so you got to pay to be up here. That statement was laced in ignorance. You have no idea what you're talking about. Watch. So then he says, and he admits, close the door, shut the door, shut the door. Hey, hey, hey. Wasn't the best approach. I agree with him. He said it. He said it. I agree with him totally. Wasn't the best approach to say it in the manner that he said it. But if you've been to church, there are times where people don't walk. And walking is highly not recommended. Praying, offering, preaching. Normal in that culture. Thus, you didn't hear gasp in the crowd. So the tone by which he said it wasn't the greatest. Kind of came off maybe a little bit arrogant, is what I've heard people say. He admitted that, hey, I could have changed that up. He said that, I agree. But watch this. The behavior that I saw was a bunch of people posting saying, this is why I don't go to church. Watch. That's their behavior. What's the emotion behind it? The emotion was they saw an incident of a man ask for 2,000 people, give $20, who abruptly said, shut the door. And instead of digging for context, they grabbed that incident and emotionally believed that he was locking everybody in. Where did those emotions come from? Those emotions came from the thought that this is what they do in church. Not only do they ask you for $40,000, but they make you give. And if you don't give, they beg you. And now they even threaten you to shut the door. They even threaten you to shut the door because, that's what church people do. And where did that belief come from? Well, that belief came from a notion that if I've been hurt in one church, I've been hurt in all churches. That all churches, they do is ask you for money, bully you, stuff like that. So how do you fix the person who jumped to conclusions after that incident? You change the belief. Let me help you. His approach, tone maybe, could have been corrected. He said that. I'm not putting words out there. He said, hey, I could have corrected my tone. I could have said it a different way. So what's the beliefs that we can now create to feel better about this? Well, he admitted that he could have done the tone different. The tone could have been done differently. But there are a lot of churches out here that do good work. And because that's the case, that would create new thoughts. Like, not this is why I don't go to church, or this is why I don't go by to anybody's church, but maybe there are some churches that do it wrong, or some approaches that have been wrong. But generally speaking, there are also some churches that do it right. There are some synagogues and mosques that do it right. That creates what kind of emotion? Well, it takes you off this herky-jerky, reactive space that you're in. And it gets you to be able to look at a man who probably made a mistake with his tone of how he said that and how he came across. And it causes you to look at the totality of the issue. And it takes your emotions that are way up here and calms them down. And when those emotions are calmed down, then guess what? Your behavior changes. You don't have time to go back and forth with people online about the credibility of all churches over one incident. This works for everything. And all you people that saw a clip and started screaming, this is kidnapping, this guy's crazy. You went from incident to emotion. Let me tell you what I did as a healed man. I saw the clip. I went from incident. Initial emotion was laughter. I'm not going to lie. I chuckled. And I think I chuckled at the way he said, shut the door, shut the door, shut the door. It was just funny to me. I laugh when most people are not laughing. I can find humor in almost anything. Okay? So my initial response was laughter. But then immediately I went to, okay, hold on. Thought, wait a minute. What's the setting in this? Why did he ask for the doors to be stopped? This ain't no emotion. This don't need an emotional response. What's the thought process behind this? Based on what I know, experiences. And once I did that, then I established the right belief. That man wasn't trying to kidnap nobody. We don't kidnap people in church. Lock, close, choose whatever word you want to choose. It don't happen in church. And it's frankly idiotic. If you saw that video and you thought this man was trying to kidnap 2,000 people. What is wrong with y'all? So the belief was easy. No, he's trying to raise money. He made a mistake. He probably shouldn't have come across that way, and it came across to non-believers as arrogant. I'll tell you another belief that it created and another thought that it created. Y'all ready? Those of you that are part of churches, mosques, synagogues, I said something to a church back in 2019, and people thought I was crazy. And if I can find the video, I might get out here on a Thursday and play it. I said, because some of y'all won't be able to hear this because you still in your emotions. Still not acceptable. Wrong. That's still wrong. That's still wrong. I just walked you back through from your emotions to your beliefs so you can change that. And this is why some of y'all are still stuck in your incidents. And this is why some of you prefer therapy for years. This is a solution. Solutions are designed to pull you out of your mess, not keep you in it. Solutions are designed to pull you out of your mess, not keep you in it. And some of y'all just can't help yourself. You just can't help yourself. And this is unfortunate. But even with this incident, you can create new beliefs so that you can see this in a solid way. I said back in 2019 to a church, I said, and I'm talking to all of you that are a part of mosques, synagogues, churches, temples, whatever you do, because I have clients in 44 countries around the world. I work with all religious backgrounds and ethnicities, and I love it. But watch this. I said back in 2019, and I'm going to try to find the tape. I said to this church, I said, I don't think it's a great idea for churches to stream online. This is 2019. I don't even know if I have people that was at the church on this live that can just type in the chats and attest to this. I literally said in 2019, churches, you should think about not streaming. And you could tell by the people they were looking at church, they were kind of confused, like, why not? Everybody else is doing it. You know why? Because when you stream spiritual things to non-spiritual people, you get people that see incidents and they go to emotion. No, if you want the spiritual experience, get up and go. And people thought I was extreme. Now look, for every incident you see in church that people don't understand because they don't go to church, or when they go, but their going behavior is grounded in beliefs that are wounded, that they have not corrected or changed, then every little incident becomes a really big deal. And I absolutely said, and I continue to hold to this, if you're a part of a temple, a mosque, church, whatever, you ought to talk to your folks about pulling spiritual streaming off the internet. I said it in 2019. I literally said in 2019 that streaming spiritual things is not a great idea because non-spiritual people don't understand it. Now look, you got a bunch of non-spirit. This stuff has made it to some of the most major media outlets in the world. And you have people that are considered to be voices of certain communities telling y'all they were trying to kidnap y'all. Oh my God. Stop streaming spiritual stuff to non-spiritual people. They don't get it. If they want it, make them come and get it. Or else you create more confusion. Churches, mosques, synagogues, you create more confusion trying to explain spiritual things to non-spiritual people. I know. For many of you, this is going completely over your head. You still stuck on $20. You still stuck on $20. And the fact that this man was going to kidnap 2,000 people. What is wrong with y'all? I'll tell you what's wrong. Your beliefs. And those thoughts that you are being kidnapped are grounded in beliefs that have nothing to do with Marvin Sapp and have everything to do with your wounds, your scars related to your spiritual experiences that had nothing to do with that man. Yeah, he made a mistake. He owned it. He admitted it. He admitted he could have approached it differently. But because you ain't changed your beliefs, you can't get over it. And I understand. Because if you don't change your beliefs, you won't change your thoughts. If you don't change your thoughts, you won't change your emotions. If you don't change your emotions, you won't change your behavior. And if you don't change your behavior, you'll never change your life. Now that I've gotten rid of the people that sit and coach, let's go further. Because I know some of y'all jumped off after this. And that's why you could never work with me. The truth will either make you free or it's going to make you mad. Choose one. So let's talk about this. What then is the best way to correct our thoughts? Y'all with me? Y'all supporting the show? Y'all supporting the show? Oh, look, I lost about 12 of you. What's the best way to control your thoughts then, or correct your thoughts? I want you to write down this word called ego. E-G-O. Let's work through it. Y'all notice I'm not using my soundboard a lot tonight. I'm talking to y'all tonight. Let's talk about this 3-letter word called ego. The ego is the part of your brain that concerns itself with the past and worries about the future. Your ego is the part of your brain that is concerned about the past or concerns itself about the past and concerns itself about the future. And when we break the ego, it brings us to the place where we should be, and that's called the present. So when your brain is not stuck in the past, incidents of the past, from the past, and your brain isn't worried so much about what's going to happen tomorrow, but you're able to center your thoughts, you then end up living in what's called the present. When we live in the present, it is the present that not only breaks the ego, but it is the calmest place for our thoughts. And some of you are struggling with your thoughts because you're struggling with the past and you can't stop worrying about tomorrow. And if all you do is think about the past and worry about tomorrow, you will never be able to correct your thoughts. Yeah, I ain't seen a lot of churches with a bunch of R's tonight. Where y'all at? If all you do is think about the past and worry about tomorrow, you will never be able to control your thoughts. Doc, I hear it all the time. Doc, my thoughts are all over the place. I can't stop thinking about this. I can't stop thinking about this. I can't stop worrying about this. Thinking about is the past and worried about the future. I can't stop thinking about this. I can't stop worrying about this. I'm worried to death about this. Well, here's the problem. You are forcing your brain to go back and forth like ping pong balls. Thank you, Nikolai, for your support. Appreciate you. You are forcing your brain like a ping pong table to go back and forth from the future to the past, not realizing that the calmest place is where the net is. It's in the middle. It's the present. We're going to talk about how, because I'm going to give you 3 ways you can break your ego in 3 steps. I ain't going to just tell y'all this and not give you practicality. But you've got to stop going back and forth with your thoughts. Okay? And all of this unnecessary worrying about the future, all of this unnecessary ruminating about the past. So let me tell you 3 steps you can break your ego. I told y'all this is going to be heavy tonight. I don't think I'm going to get through all of it. Looks like this is going to be a part 2. Let me give you 3 steps to break your ego. Number 1, retrain your brain. You want to break your ego so that you can learn how to control your thoughts? First thing you need to learn how to do is retrain your brain. Well, Doc, you should be saying, well, then, Doc, how do I retrain my brain? How is that possible? I've got a couple of methods you can use. Prayer is a good way to do it. Well, Doc, I don't believe in God. Meditation is a good way to do it. Prayer is conversation with God, what I believe in. Some of you on the universe tip, Buddha, other stuff. Prayer is conversation with God or higher power, authority. Meditation is conversation with yourself, your own thoughts. It is quiet time with your thoughts. When you learn how to quiet your thoughts down by spending 5 to 10 minutes a day sitting in a chair, thinking about nothing but sitting in the chair, you begin to retrain your brain on how to stay in the present and not be all over the place. And it translates from that chair you sitting in for 5 to 10 minutes to the desk when you're on a client call, but you got a million things going on in the background. You don't think about the things in the background. Your focus is locked in what's in front of you because over time, you have been training your brain on how to be in the present space of where you are. You can retrain your brain with prayer, meditation. You can retrain your brain journaling. Journaling. Not diary writing, journaling. Many of you still don't know the difference between diary writing and journaling. And it's a huge difference. When you write down in a piece of paper how you feel, da 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 da, I feel like this, da da da, I feel, they did this, da 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 da, and you shut the paper. All you've done is thrown up in that paper. That's it. That's diary writing. Diary writing is throwing up on paper with your words. Diary writing is throwing up on paper with your words. Journaling is throwing up on your paper, but then having 2 or 3 bullet points to describe how you're going to clean up the throw up. Oh my God. In other words, journaling is diary writing, but with solutions. And some of you think you're journaling, all you're doing is throwing up on paper. And guess what, y'all? What happens when you throw up on paper? What happens when you throw up every day and you don't replenish yourself? What do you think is going to happen to you if you throw up for 30 straight days? You don't drink no fluids. You don't get no IV. You don't eat no food. You don't put nothing back in your system. And you throw up for 30 straight days. What's going to happen to you? You're going to die. You know why many of you haven't seen any changes when you thought you were journaling? Because all you were doing was throwing up. And if all you do is throw up on paper, but you never write, yes, the breakup made me feel pissed and not worthy. But then come under that and say, bullet, here are 3 things I can do today to show myself the worthiness I deserve. Bullet, bullet, bullet. All of a sudden, you have thrown up, but you also drank some Gatorade. And you know what that does? It helps to retrain your brain. Now, notice something, y'all. Notice what I didn't say. I didn't say stuff like play music. I didn't say stuff like devotion, singing songs. That stuff is great. There's nothing wrong with that stuff. But let me just be honest with you. When I was going through one of the hardest seasons of my life, there were times where I had to have music or something playing in the background. And I came to a very honest revelation about sounds and healing. That sometimes we use sounds as a mechanism to mask us becoming one with how we really feel. Thus, people will play music in their house all day for fear of having to sit with their thoughts if they cut the music off and it's quiet in their house. So the music isn't really healing, it's a distraction. And devotion can much be the same if the focus is more on what you're singing and not enough on what you should be thinking about so that you can heal. That was salad worthy. My stomach growling right now. Some of you, music, travel, you treat travel the same way. Many of you use travel as a defense mechanism to shield you from coming face to face with your thoughts. So you think getting on a plane all the time, going to Thailand, Japan, Russia, the Netherlands, Iceland, traveling all the time is going to help you heal when really you're using airlines and hotels as a defense mechanism to not have to sit in front of your feelings. Is there anything wrong with traveling? No. Have y'all seen my timeline? I travel all the time. Most times nowadays it's for business. Now, we get kind of glad when this business is over so Doc can get a vacation. I'm saying I need a vacation. My birthday's in September. I need a nice summer vacation. I need a nice birthday trip, and I think I'll be good to about November. But let me tell you something. Traveling shouldn't be used as a mechanism for you to ignore what you need to be dealing with. Does this make sense? I'll tell you something else that will help you retrain your brain. Wow, thank you, Melissa. I appreciate you so much for your support. Thank you, Melissa, for that support. I'll tell you something else that'll help you retrain your brain. You ready? Structure. Structure. I talk about it in the book. Daily routine. You know why many of your brains can't be trained? Because you ain't got no routine. You get up at different times every day. You don't pray. You don't meditate. You don't work out. You don't journal. You don't have no set time where you go to bed, or at least a set time frame where you laying down. You have no structure. And because you don't have structure, your brain doesn't have a set of confines by which to work. Daily routine is great when it comes to retraining your brain. I know many of y'all on the daily routine tip right now, and some people that's making it viral. If you've been following my work, I've been talking about daily routines for a long time. I've been doing my daily routine for at least the last 16, 17 years. What's that, Doc? Up at 4:08. Pray. Use the restroom, too much information. Walk downstairs right around 4:25-ish. Work out 20 to 30 minutes, depending on if it's cardio or if it's weights. Or if it's both, it's 50 minutes. 30 minutes of meditation. Fix my kids' lunch. I'll sit down in the dark. I've got the light of my iPad there. I'll grab a sheet of white paper. I don't do it much in journal books anymore. And I'll journal a couple of things on white paper just to take a look at that, to set my intentions for the day, rip it up, throw it in the trash. 8, 9 minutes. Go upstairs, cold shower. I take a cold shower every morning, even on weekends. My first shower of the day is cold. And by 7:05, I'm ready to start my day. It's the routine of champions. So this is why I don't let people get on my nerves. This is why I can literally have 1,000,000 people pinging my emails. Doc, I need this. I want to set up some time. Got this. And my kids got a crazy schedule going on. And they're in training. Yeah, all this stuff going on. But when I'm talking to a client, I'm locked in. You know why? Because my brain has been trained to be in the present. Routine helps. If you exercise your arm muscles and they get bigger, if you exercise your brain through prayer, meditation, journal, structure, things like that, you begin to retrain and strengthen your brain as well. Your brain is a muscle. This is why I still fit in all my clothes. Great. This is why my clothes fit. Yeah, it's great for your skin. Y'all see no whole bunch of bumps on my face? Not at all. Okay? You gotta develop a healthy relationship with quiet noise, what I call quiet noise, where there's nothing going on, but because it is so quiet, the quietness becomes deafening. You have to develop a healthy relationship with quiet. Because if you can sit with yourself in the quiet, when I sit over there in the dark, I'll be in that chair in about 6 hours. When I'm sitting over there in that chair and it's dark, it's pitch black dark, and my kids upstairs dark, and ain't nobody woke in the neighborhood, and I just got off this Peloton and I'm dripping sweat, and I'm sitting over there and I set my 30-minute timer. And I spend the first 5 minutes just taking deep breaths to gather myself. That 25 minutes of sitting there in silence feels like 10 minutes. You know why? Because my body has become conditioned to get comfortable in the silence. Watch this. So when your life goes silent, or when your life goes crazy and life gets chaotic, things get chaotic with your family, your kids, work, government, whatever. When things get chaotic around you, because you have trained your brain how to be in the present, things can be going crazy here, you'll be solid here. Get comfortable in the quiet. Okay? Here's the second way you can break your ego. I'm going to go through these 3 ways and then we'll stop here. Because next week, I want to talk about this in attachment styles. You can break your attachment. You can heal your attachment style with this formula. Oh my God. Wait till I talk about that. Little teaser. Second way, you can retrain your brain. You ready? Lock in the present. We kind of talked about this, but I want to reiterate it. Number 2, lock in the present. Where focus goes, energy flows. You got to work every day to lock in the present. And some of you are trying to focus without structure or routine. You can't make yourself get focused if you don't have a structure or routine. Literally every single day, hour of your day needs to be dedicated to something. And if every single hour of your day is not dedicated to something specific, Doc, does that mean I can't ever have downtime? No, I'm not saying that. But your day should also be so structured that if you're anything like me, I have to schedule downtime. You know why? My life is so locked and structured that I actually have to put on my calendar downtime. And sometimes that downtime is just here and it's being home and being in town. Sometimes that downtime is getting on a plane and going somewhere and having a weekend to myself. Shout out to my parents and my children's mom. They're just so supportive and so helpful for me in this space. And it really means a lot to me. But I'm so locked in and structured, I have to schedule downtime. So I'm not saying you can't have it, but some of y'all, all y'all got is downtime. You cannot focus without structure or routine. Well, then, Doc, I could be able to focus, Doc, but my motivation is off. I'm just not a motivated person. Can I say this out loud? Is the mic on? When you have structure and routine, guess what that starts to kill? Excuses like motivation. Oh my God. I want you to remember another formula. Y'all ready? Structure fixes focus, and focus fixes motivation. Write it down. Structure fixes focus, and focus fixes motivation. I've had people come off of depression meds, I've had people who have ADHD diagnosed who have come off medication simply by learning how to institute strong structure and daily routine. And in doing so, that structure fixed their focus, and the focus fixed their motivation. Just before all of y'all hit me with what you got and all the letters and alphabets that you got. I ain't saying it ain't possible, but I am saying I have seen it with my own two eyes and help people get through it. That if you commit your life to a life of structure, stop wasting so much time, stop scrolling so much on social media, worrying about what everybody else is doing, and dedicate your life from the time you get up to the time you lay down to structure and routine and all the people and things that have to be involved in this, I'm here to tell you that structure will fix your focus, and that focus will fix your motivation. Before you know it, you'll be off those meds. I seen it happen. I like that. Somebody said on TikTok a really good comment. My son says his job helps him remain disciplined. Task, time management, schedule. Exactly. You carry that from your work and you bring it home with you. If you happen to work from home like I do, it's all meshed together. I literally had to put on my calendar time to take 20 minutes to go out and get me a smoothie. So that not only gives me breakfast or some snack, but it also gives me some downtime. I have to actually literally put that on my calendar. And some of y'all are walking around here with all of this free time and wondering why your brain is all over the place. That's why. The old folks used to say it like this: an idle mind is a devil's workshop. I see you, my friend Rochelle. Hey, sounds like a project man. That's exactly right. That's why you and I work so well together. Idle mind is a devil's workshop. You got all this free time, you ain't gonna be able to retrain your brain, and your brain, you got all this free time, and you're just sitting around doing nothing. But scrolling, some of y'all, and it's crazy because people be fussing at me about being slow about responding to messages, and I'm like, I got over 700,000 followers on 4 networks. How do y'all have time to respond to messages as soon as somebody? I mean, have you ever messaged somebody as soon as you hit send? You get ready to hit the X and then your phone vibrate and they message you back already? You ain't got enough to do. Now, this is a really good question I see on Facebook. What is the difference between this and staying busy? You can stay busy, but be busy without a purpose. Structure should be purpose driven, right? It's a really good question. Really, really good question there. Structure should be purpose driven, right? So when we talk about daily routine and structure, we're talking about purpose. But staying busy, that's no different than catching flights to try to leave your problems or get away from your problems, or playing music loud because you're cleaning the house. Now, there's nothing wrong with playing music loud and cleaning the house. I do that. I play music. I play comedy. I play Dave Chappelle. I'm about to fall on the wet floor laughing at him and his crazy self. I do all this stuff while I play, but it is not to hide from my thoughts. I meditate 30 minutes a day. I'm great at locking in. Don't matter what I'm doing. I can give anything that I'm doing my undivided attention. And some of y'all, I can tell you don't work on this. And you're used to staying busy because even when you go on dates, you can't even put your phone down. Uh-oh. Oh my God. I'm going to just tell y'all right now, as a healed man who meditates every day, if I take you on a date, you better not be on your phone the whole time. Oh my God. I know. That's what many of y'all do. You get on a date and you like this the whole time. And if you're somebody like me who meditates 30 minutes a day, who's used to being locked in the present and focused on what he's doing, at a certain point, I'm just like, what am I here for? And yet y'all do it. And some of you continue to date people that do it. And I don't see how you get to know people if you can't be in the present on that date. Oh my God. Yes, y'all do. I be out all the time in restaurants by myself and looking at couples. And it's crazy because it don't just be one of them. It be both of them. They sitting across from each other. They both on their phones the whole time. Mm-mm. If that's what love looks like, I'll stay single. Let me just stay right here. I'm good. I told you I'm seconds away from getting me a robe and some sandals and just walking around with this beanie on, healing people for the rest of my life. I'm serious. Nah, you on dates, you might take a picture of the food or something. You might take a selfie with them or whatever. Some of you like them or whatever. You might take a selfie with them. Take a selfie at the event that you're at, but then that phone is going back up in your pocket and you enjoying the moment that you're in. Yeah, I definitely people watch. You can't people watch and be on your phone at the same time. I like if I'm gonna go on a date, I like to be in places where we can laugh at people because I like laughing at people. Oh my God. I like laughing at people. But how you gonna do all of that and you all on your phone? You're not gonna be in the present. So this kills the excuse of motivation. And this is requires 4 words that many of you don't have. Put them in the chat. Discipline, commitment, consistency, repetition. Discipline, commitment, consistency, repetition. Doc, how do I get to a place where I can have this structure and lock in on my structure and be focused? Discipline, commitment, consistency, repetition. Discipline, commitment, consistency, repetition. You got to have some discipline in your life. You got some discipline with that phone. I saw somebody on Instagram talk about no phones at their dinner table. I got the same rule in my house. When me and my kids are eating dinner, the only time they can do it at the table is when I cannot eat with them. And I try to eat with them at least 2 times a week. That's a lot. I cook for them twice a week. If you follow my story, you know this stuff. I cook for them at least twice a week. The nights that I cook for them, I try to eat with them as well. Ain't no phones at the dinner table. We sat at the dinner table, at the lunch table Sunday after church. We left Dad's church and we went out and got some pizza. And then we sat there for like 2.5, almost 3 hours talking. Nobody had their phone. They blew me away with how locked in they were and how insightful and thoughtful they were as they were talking about some of their friends' challenges and how they're helping their friends get through it and talking their friends through things that they've experienced as little kids. I was quite impressed. Why? Because I'm raising my kids to be in the present. You need discipline, commitment, consistency, repetition. And it ain't going to happen overnight. This is for all you lazy people that do this for 5 days and then you be like, Doc, ain't seen no changes yet. Well, let me ask you this. If you wear a waist trainer for 5 days, you going to see some changes? Oh my God. The only way you're going to see some changes after wearing a waist trainer for 5 days, if I'm being honest, the only way you're going to see some changes after wearing a waist trainer for 5 days is if you keep that waist trainer on longer than 5 days. Guiding. It ain't happening. You have to sleep in that bad boy. It ain't happening. Why? Because you can put it on for 5 days, but what's going to happen when you get in the shower? Everything that was locked in, when you get in the shower and a couple splashes of water hit you, that stuff is just going to fall right back to where it was. No different than a girdle. That girdle going to shape you up. But if you don't keep it on and do some exercising and change your diet and do some work, structure, routine while you got it on, that's temporary. Y'all stop looking for quick results in this space. This is why I don't let people walk around talking about something they doing the work and you ain't been doing that but seeing a counselor once a week for the last 30 days. That ain't no work. What else you doing? That's like wearing a waist trainer for 2 hours, taking it off, being impressed with the little lines that you see, and then when you go sit down and stand up, you shot, where they go? Oh my God. Here's the third way you can break your ego, and I'm going to end with this. I need 15 minutes. Y'all with me? We're talking about how to break your ego, and we're talking about how to correct your thoughts on this game-changing cycle here. Are y'all supporting the show? Because if not, you know this is coming down. This is everything coming down. This is coming down if you don't support. Look, the third way, three ways to break your ego. Retrain your brain. 1, 2, lock in the present. Number 3, contentment. 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 Write it down. Contentment. Now, let me say this. Contentment is a spiritual principle. Because what I'm about to explain right now, if you don't have a spiritual foundation, it won't make sense. I'm just going to warn you that what I'm about to explain to you, if you are absent of a spiritual foundation, that which I'm about to explain will make no sense. You ready? Let me explain to you what contentment is, this spiritual principle. The easiest way to understand contentment is this. I don't like it, but I'm okay with it. Should write that down in your journal. I don't like it, whatever the it is. I'm okay with it. When we think about contentment, we think about an attitude that says, I don't like it, but I'm okay with it. This is a spiritual principle, what I'm getting ready to explain. Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial. This is a spiritual principle. Contentment is spiritual. Why? Because it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make mental or logical sense. It doesn't jive with your emotions to say, I don't like the fact that I'm getting divorced, but I'm accepting it and I'm okay with it. That doesn't make your emotions feel better either. That doesn't make good logical sense. So it has to be spiritual, where you can say, whatsoever state I'm in, I'm good. And you know why many people can't retrain their brain or break their ego? Because they haven't reached a true state of contentment in their life where they can say, hey, I might not like where I am in my life, and this might not be what I planned for me, but regardless of the state that I'm in, I'm good. And when you can say that, you are freaking unstoppable. And you can't do this without a spiritual foundation. You cannot, without a spiritual foundation, say, nope, don't like the money I'm making, but I'm good. I'm okay with it. I'm good right here. I'm content. I don't like it, but I'm okay. I don't like that I'm not. Oh, this is a big one for you single folks. I don't like that I'm single. I want to be with somebody. I want it's marriage season. Everybody get married. I don't like that I'm single, but I'm okay. And until you can say that, I really believe many of you will remain single forever until you can become content being single. And when I say content being single to people single that have no spiritual foundation, they think I'm saying to them, I want you to be okay being single. You missed the point. I'm not saying I want you to just be happy being single. I'm saying I want you to be okay. That if that ends up being your landing spot, that you're good with it. This requires spiritual foundation. Because this is what I know. The greatest way out of where you are is to be okay where you are. I want you to put that in the chat. Put that in your notes. The greatest way to get out of where you are, the greatest way out of where you are is to be okay where you are. Some of y'all need to put that in your journal. You need to put that on the refrigerator. The greatest way out of where I am is to be okay where I am. You don't like being single? Start being okay being single. You don't like being broke? I know this sounds so crazy. Start being okay being broke. Doc, that makes no sense. That's because you don't have a spiritual lens. I get it. Seek 32C. Oh my God. The greatest way to get out of being broke is to be content in your broke days. Me and the kids laugh about this. We talk. Their mom talks to them too about some things. It's just so funny. We had this running joke because she's such a hater. She be hating on me. We be laughing and picking. They'll call. She'll call them and she be hating because of what I'm cooking. Just we all joke and laugh with each other. But I've explained to Giselle and Four that there were times when they were kids where literally like I didn't know how we were gonna make it literally from like month to month. I was working in higher ed and just working positions I was great at, but well beneath my talent and ability. But let me tell you something. Those were some of the happiest days of my life. You know why? Because I learned how to be okay being broke. And the reason why some of you will remain broke forever, it's not because you don't have the talent or the ability not to be not broke, but because you haven't found contentment in your brokenness. Doc, what? You're telling me to be happy broke? I never said happy. I said be okay. And Kenya said it right. When you work higher ed, education period, they know how to underpay you. I was working like a slave and felt like I was literally working and had a hole in my pocket. But we enjoyed those days. And so now doing better and watching them be able to enjoy things and do things at their age, 11 and 12, that I never experienced at that age. It's a beautiful and humbling thing. But I'm not overwhelmed. I was good when I was broke. I was good when I didn't have. I know y'all like, I get it. Y'all like Ruth's Chris. You like the Michelin restaurants. I understand. But let me tell you something. You ain't ate until you had a fried bologna sandwich that was burnt. I'm talking about crispy burnt on some white loaf bread with mustard and cheese on the top. Maybe I'm just country and y'all don't even know what I'm talking about. Or until you had some ramen noodles and you didn't even have the money to get no fancy noodles. So you had to take ramen noodles and you would chop like ham and put ham in it. You would to try to spice it up. Or maybe you had some frozen shrimp in the refrigerator and you would take that and thaw that out and saute it and then toss it up in the noodles. And next thing you know, you got noodles and shrimp. Some of y'all don't know nothing about this. I got a better one than that. When I was a kid, yeah, you did all that and you called it pho. Exactly. When I was a kid, me and my brother on Fridays, we ain't have school that Saturday. Let me tell you the dessert we had. We ain't had no ice cream in that freezer. Every now and then, mom and dad buy some popsicles or something like that. Happy birthday again to you, mama. Love you. Every now and then, mom and dad buy some popsicles or something. You want to know what our dessert was? We went right in there and got some white rice. Some of y'all don't know nothing about what I'm talking about. We went in there and got some white rice, boiled it, and put some butter and sugar on it. This is before I even knew what rice pudding was. Butter and sugar with white rice. It don't get no more poor than that. And was just as content as we could be. Some of y'all put milk in it. Right. One of my homegirls, Tanya, shout out to Tanya, Battle if you tuned in. Her husband, she's talking about Kevin used to do it. I think would do it like donuts or something. I can't remember. I think it was Tanya. Would do it like and eat like donuts or something, like Krispy Kreme donuts or something. That's fancy. We ain't had no Krispy Kreme donuts back then. All we had was the rice. And sometimes we ran out of butter and we just put sugar on it. A diabetic coma waiting to happen. Oh my God. Contentment. It won't nothing but rice pudding. When I got older and watched my mom and my grandma, no, because my mom didn't really make it. My aunt and my grandma made rice pudding. I was like, this ain't nothing but sugar and rice. This ain't nothing but sugar and rice. I've been making rice pudding since I was about 8. You put some, that's right, man. And you put some toast on it too. Man, y'all have no idea. Jonathan, been there. Cool Whip and crackers. Been there. I got a better one with y'all. Plain white chips with hot sauce. It'll have you cussing. You be like, this some chips. Oh my God. I'm telling you. Plain chips with hot sauce. Man, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Doc, what's the point you making? All of this goes into your ability to reframe your brain. All of a sudden, think about how this works with redoing your thoughts. Go back to it. I'm ending with this. How does this align with redoing your thoughts? Well, my thought is I'm broke. I ain't making the kind of money I want to make and eating the way I want to eat and living the way I want to live. So the belief is it takes money to enjoy your life. It takes money to be satisfied with your life. When you learn contentment and learn how to be okay, you change that to believe, no, happiness ain't about how much money you got. It's about what you make out of the experience. That creates new thoughts. That I don't have to have money in order to be excited. I can take what I have and make a lot out of it. That takes the emotions and the negative emotions you have around being broke, the anxiety, the stress, and brings it down. All of a sudden, you laughing and enjoying yourself. And you making weird meals like ramen noodles and ham and whipped cream and crackers. And all of a sudden, you laughing and enjoying yourself. And what does that do to your behavior? It lightens you up. And what does that do to your life? Changes it. Oh my God. Contentment's a spiritual principle. When you can learn how to be happy with what you ain't got, you ready for what you want. Record it. That's my last note for you tonight. When you can be happy, with what you don't have, you are officially ready for it. This for all you single people that want somebody, but you can't be happy alone. You're not ready for nobody. And if you are, you're going to get somebody in seat 32C and you're going to wish you never saw them. Contentment is a spiritual principle that teaches you how to be okay without. That says, if you broke, I'm good. If you got a lot of money, you're okay. If you're single, you're okay. If you're married, you're okay. If you're living in a big house, you're okay. If you're sleeping in your mom and daddy's basement, you're okay. And what this does to your brain and your ability to correct your thoughts by breaking your ego is it takes you out of worrying about the future. It takes you from dwelling on the past, and it helps you to focus in the present. This makes sense? Well, y'all, I've got about easily 70 minutes worth of notes left. We're not doing that tonight. It's 11:13. So what I will do, if you all want me to, is I will do part 2 next Thursday. I will keep this up if you all support. The last I looked, I didn't see a lot of support here. I saw some. Thank you for those of you that have supported. But let me tell you what I really want to teach next week. The parts of my notes that I want to get to. I want to talk about how you can use this to heal your attachment style. It's mind-blowing. Doc, how did you go from being anxious? I used to be anxious. How did you go from being anxious to secure? This timetable right here. This formula right here helped to break my attachment style. It's going to shock you. This is going to shock you. So let's do part 2 next Thursday, same time. Part 2, 9:08 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. What's next Thursday? Next Thursday is what, the 10th? April the 10th? April the 10th, next Thursday, we'll do part 2, and we'll pick up with attachment styles and talk about that. And you got to keep your diagram. We may redraw this because I want to talk about what happens. Well, I don't want to give you the preview, but something happens when all of us go through our incident or experience. Our attachment styles are activated. It's gonna be so good. Our attachment styles are activated when an incident or experience occurs, and then we go into these steps, and it's gonna shock. You're gonna be like, wait a minute. And you're gonna be able to heal your attachment style with this. I'm gonna show you the anxious, the avoidant, and the secure attachment style in this diagram. Next level stuff, y'all. Y'all gonna buy, if I convert this to an ebook, y'all gonna support it? Y'all gonna support it? Tell me the truth. If you want to support it, put a 1 in the chat. I want to see it. If I put this convert this into an ebook, or will y'all support it? This is gonna be powerful. This is gonna be one of those manuals you just need to have by your journal. Anytime you have an incident happen in your life, think about what you did. Incident happens, you went off. Somebody talked about you, that was an incident, you cussed them out. You went right to behavior. Well, we got to fix that. How do we fix it? We got to fix the emotion behind it. Why did you cuss them out? Because they pissed you off. Why did they piss you off? Because of your thoughts associated to what they did. That they weren't loyal. That they weren't really the friends that they said they were. Well, what beliefs are that grounded in? That's grounded in my past. That I have an unhealthy relationship with people not showing up as the best version of themselves when I show up as the best version of myself for them. So how do I fix it? Change my belief that maybe it's not that they are such a bad person. Maybe they don't have the capacity to be to you what you are to them. Maybe you were expecting them to be something that they never could be. That changed belief changes your thought about their behavior. Well, yeah, they weren't right, but they probably were just acting according to their capacity. And that's all they could give. When you say that, that brings your emotions down. When it does, it changes your behavior, changes your life. See how easy this is. So we'll pick up here next Thursday, April the 10th. We'll pick up here. Let me say this real quick before y'all go. You see the ways to support? They're on there. Look on the screen. I want y'all to support. I'm giving you 30 seconds. I know, Rochelle. I might have to hire you, Rochelle, to put that in workbook for me. Rochelle's the bomb. Hoping she can do some work with me with Inspire in the very near future. Just outstanding woman in person. Real quick announcements. Quick. Next Saturday is Houston. Hey, I don't know who the DJ is that does the commercials for Top Dog Law. Doc is getting tired. I'm about to go off the rails. I don't know who the guy is that does the commercials for Top Dog Law. Y'all ever heard the commercials for Top Dog Law? And he asked, you are minding your business. Somebody pulled out in front of you. They pulled out it. That is not Kid Capri. That can't be Kid Capri. That is not Kid Capri. Is that Kid Capri for real? I don't know who that is. Can somebody find him so he can do some commercials for me for this tour? Because I swear, I'm dying for somebody. Let me not say that. Lord, forgive me. I don't mean that. I was about to say, I'm dying for somebody to hit me and run into me. No, I'm not. I don't want it that bad. But in the event that they do and I survive. Oh my God. Man, this dude, he said, we were in the airport and a dog walked by the dog. And the Top dog sniffed him and bit Top Dog. And Top Dog barked back. Bruh, I don't know who he is. I don't know who this dude is, but can somebody find the DJ from Top Dog Law and ask him to do some cuts for me for this tour. Houston, I need about 30 more tickets gone, and we will be the size of Atlanta. Next Saturday, April the 12th. And Houston, get this. 2 things have been added to that tour. Number 1, free catering. Somebody has offered free catering for the tour stop that Saturday. Top notch. I was about to say top dog law. Top notch food. Trusted caterer, free food added to the event, and get this. There is a meet and greet, a restaurant and lounge by the name of Friends Houston. It's called Friends Houston or Houston Friends Houston Restaurant and Lounge. Has given me a section at that restaurant just for people at the tour. So when the tour is over, we can go there, we can hang out there, and I can't wait. It just got added. I'm about to put it out there Saturday. It literally just got added. It's crazy. And I didn't ask for any of this. My awesome site coordinator, shout out to Desiree, has really gone above and beyond to really make Houston put some respect on this tour. Really put some respect on this tour. So if you're in Texas or the Houston area, I got about 30 tickets left. Y'all please help me sell out in Houston. Please. Just please. I ain't trying to beg, but y'all just help me do it. All right. And I really love to see all of you in Houston. It's a quick trip for me. I'm actually going to be starting my 5-week course this Saturday. Spring cleaning and healing. If you have not signed up, sign up for that. It's a very small course. It might be less than 20 people. Very small, intimate course, 5 90-minute sessions. Starts this Saturday, different times every Saturday. The link's in my bio. Sign up. I've got seats left for that, but it won't be more than 20. I don't care if 7 people sign up. That's all it's going to be. I like for these courses to be intimate because they're longer and they're more interactive. The link's in my bio. Check that out. Would love for you to be a part of that as well. It starts this Saturday. Also, Top Dog Therapy. I can't bite them like that because that would just be that is somebody Miss Edwards put Top Dog Therapy. It was hilarious. The voice in the Top Dog Law commercials is Terry John, an entrepreneur in Charlotte. Get out of here for real? He's from Charlotte? He's from well, they're saying he's DJ Comic Kev. So is it Comic Kev or is it Terry John out of Charlotte? Which one is it? No, for real. Like, they're saying it's Cosmic Kev. I don't know who it is, but can y'all have him get in contact with me? No, I'm serious. I want the guy from Top Dog Law to do a commercial for me. You put his IG on it. I want the guy, send that to me, Kenya. Send it to me. I want the guy, send it to me because it'll be easier. Just email it to me or send it to my DMs because I really want him to do a commercial for. No, I'm so serious. Why y'all? I'm serious, April. Please send the information for Houston at people there that might want to attend. Audrey, go to my link in my bio. The Houston link is in my bio. It's there. And it goes right to the site. It gives information about it. I forgot the name of the venue that we're using. Very nice lady who owns that facility is letting us use it. It's going to be really, 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 really nice. But please, if you got people in that area, please send it out to your people in Houston. Y'all help me get 30 people there. All right. Y'all help me get 30 people there. Yeah, I can't help it. Them Top Dog commercials. Me and my kids be in the car crying, laughing. Like he really makes the case. He really makes the case. All right. I placed an order for a book a couple weeks ago. Which book was it? Was it you placed it and it's out of stock, or was it out of stock when you placed the order, Stephen? Just send an email, Stephen, to info@zebthethird.com. info@zebthethird.com. Let me say this about book orders. A lot of the packages that the books are distributed through come from China. These tariffs and things like that have even delayed our team's ability to get that stuff to be able to have them packaged and shipped out.
these tariffs are impacting everybody. This whole government thing is impacting everybody. And so there has been a delay. That's been the main delay that I've seen. Of course, we've been selling out like crazy. Restocking is pretty easy, but waiting on things to come from China has been a little bit hard. So if you've had some challenges, just send an email to info@zebthethird.com. But thank y'all for those of you that have been very patient. I appreciate it. I'm learning in this customer service business. A lot of people aren't, but most of you have been very patient, and I appreciate it. But that's what's been going on there. Okay, you can order from my website. But again, y'all, if you're from Houston, you know anybody, share the site, share the link, tell them to buy tickets. If you're in Dallas, ain't but 4 hours away, y'all make a road trip, do something, catch a flight, do something. My hope is to be maybe in Dallas later in the year. DMV is going on as well. That's coming up in May. That's Mother's Day weekend. That's going to be big. And then in June, we are heading to New York City. And I think we will have the answer on that venue for New York City in June. I think we will have that answer tomorrow. And if we get that answer, then we will be releasing tickets for June in New York and July in Chicago. And it's going to be serious. I am still working. I am still working on LA. So I'm hoping to do LA maybe later in the year. Charlotte is in August. And if you're in the New York City area, that's Jersey, Connecticut, you know how y'all do up there. I want to see y'all, but it's going to be really, 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 really nice. And hoping to maybe hit the Midwest, the West Coast, but also the Midwest, as well as an additional stop. And then, of course, NOLA, you're on my mind. New Orleans, Dallas is on my mind as well. And Florida. We're going to hit a spot in Florida as well. So we got a lot to do. It looks like we're going to end up adding about 2 or 3 cities. And maybe one of these months, maybe 2 cities in 1 month or 2. But can't wait to get there. I just need y'all to support. And listen, don't come expecting that 3, 4, 5, 600 people. I'm on the Chitlin circuit, and I'm doing this from the ground. You might come in there, it might be 20 people. I'm going to talk to all 20 of y'all like it's a big deal, because it is. But I really appreciate all of you and look forward to seeing you in the future. All right. I've been talking a lot. Appreciate you. Have a great night. The ways to support are on the screen. We'll be back with part 2 next week. Have a great evening and weekend. Peace and blessings. I'll see you next week. Take care now.